Hey everyone, David here from All West Softwash. Been meaning to make this video for a while, but here we are. So I wanted to go through and do a bit of a walkthrough and a bit of an overview to go over our Lowara 240 volt booster pump that we build a lot of our current equipment with. So I wanted to go basically over an overview, why we see it as a good option for a Softwash pump, whether or not you're buying it in a set of equipment or separately. Bit of comparisons between what type of pump this actually is compared to the other ones, a bit of performance comparison, especially comparison with like the P40, which it probably closely resembles in terms of performance. So first of all, I want to preface this video by saying this is only one pump of many types. It's not a one pump fits all situations. It's up to you to choose whether or not this is a good pump. I'll go through why I think it's a good pump, why we use them, and its benefits, especially in terms of longevity. But it is only just one option, okay? So what type of pump is it? So it's a 240 volt powered, so it has a 240 volt motor, and it powers a multitude of stages in this end here. So it's a multi-stage centrifugal pump. So basically what that means is inside here we have impellers and diffusers. So an impeller is so here is one that I've just taken out of the pump. So this is a stainless steel impeller. So it has fins on the inside. Essentially when water gets pulled in from this end here, water gets flung from the inside to the outside. This creates pressure and creates flow. Each stage creates more pressure and more flow as it comes down the line. So that's essentially how so you've got an impeller, diffuser, and in this particular model, it has 19 stages. It's the most stages we can fit into a model that works on Australian 240 volt plugs. So this is a little bit of a different type of pump. So centrifugal versus a diaphragm type pump, such as a P40 or your smaller Delavan 12 volt pump. They are a diaphragm pump, which is what you would consider a positive displacement pump. So to go over a couple of the differences between this and your other models you might find in the market, this particular model it's custom build. These Lowara brand are all made in Italy, so they are very high quality. We custom make these with stainless steel, not just any stainless steel, but 316 stainless steel. So, you know, general off the market models that you can get, off the shelf I should say, are 304 stainless steel, or they could even have plastic internal. So there's impellers and diffusers could be plastic or 304 stainless steel. Now there's a big difference in terms of corrosion resistance between 304 and 316 stainless steel. So 316 being far superior. So obviously the chemicals that we're using in soft washing, sodium hypochlorite, polychlorine, whatever you want to call it, is highly corrosive. That's generally the thing that is destroying pumps. It's not designed to be in these things. You know, we're using chemicals that are highly corrosive. And 316 stainless steel is, you know, one of the best materials to be resistant to those chemicals. Everything from the casing, so these outer casings, all of the internal impellers and diffusers, all of the wetted components is what you'd say, is all made out of 316 stainless steel. In addition to that, there's another seal that we have in between these two bits here. So you've got your wetted components, which is, you know, the bit that's actually pumping the water. There is the electric motor. It has a shaft that goes through the center. Obviously, electrical motor doesn't want any water in there. Or chemicals. So there is what's called a mechanical seal, which seals between the electrical motor and the wetted parts so that nothing gets through. In an off-the-shelf version of these pumps, it's a standard seal. To be honest, not actually sure what they're made of, but in terms of These pumps, we've upgraded them to a silicon carbide seal, which is extremely resistant to corrosive materials, acidic materials. Not that you'd be pumping acid with this thing anyway, but we've upgraded that seal as well, along with the rubber seals, which you'll have one here, one at the end. Those are upgraded to Viton as well, or FKM. So is also a well-known, very highly corrosive, resistant rubber seal material. So in terms of longevity, obviously all of these stainless steel components creates a pump that is very long lasting. As long as you're taking care of it, you're flushing it regularly, which is something that should always be done. We've personally got 2 of these in 2 of our utes, and one of them, the first one that we started testing, which was actually a 17-stage one, all the same components, is still running, still performing just like day one. So that's why we've upgraded all of those components to a 316 stainless steel options. So what are a couple of the benefits that we see with this type of pump compared to others that are in the market? So for number one, obviously reliability. So with all those upgraded components, you'll see a lot of these Giants pumps hanging around out Australia, and the general rule of thumb with those guys is that, they get a really good performance. There's a good knock up from 12 volt into 240 volt. You get a bit more performance, but it's not as much as compared to, maybe a P40 pump or otherwise. And the general consensus with those pumps is you'll get maybe 12 to 18 months out of it, and you'll, keep on replacing them. But again, you don't get that bigger performance. Another key benefit is the sound. So obviously this running 240 volt, depending on your situation, obviously residential work, you can easily plug into a customer's house, which is what we've done for many, many years, and has never been an issue. Commercial jobs, there's almost always been, for us anyway, a 240 volt power outlet somewhere. And the benefit to having 240 volt is obviously the noise. So 240 volts not going to be, it hums along. There's no loud engine or anything like that. You're not limited in terms of when you can work. You've got no noise restrictions. You can soft wash it all through the night. You don't have to get any noise permits if you were going to use something loud. And when we're talking about performance compared to something like a P40, we're actually getting the exact same performance out of this pump, out of 75 meters of 5/8 hose. On this pump and a P40, we are getting the exact same performance. So we're getting around 40 litres a minute at 170 PSI with a red washdown gun. Now, yes, a P40 can operate higher at 300 odd PSI, and this, it's limited by that. That's kind of the best it'll get, 170 odd PSI, but it's a pretty impressive performance. And now when you think about it, we're getting the same performance as a P40, but we're not having to use an engine to power it. So we are going to save a lot in terms of petrol costs, and even quick calculations, $10 a day of fuel on something like a P40 over the course of a year is about $2,500. So that's an entire replacement of one of these pumps every year just from the petrol cost. And that's not even taking into consideration any other maintenance of an engine, such as oils, filters, seals. So that is an overview of our Lowara 19-stage stainless steel pump. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. We have actually just moved into our own warehouse here in Perth. So we are located at Unit 5, 100 Prinsep Road in Jandakot, the new Jandakot Business Park. But we also ship any of our equipment all across Australia. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks, guys.